Come on in. I hope that y'all are well. Happy Wisdom Wednesday. Happy Wisdom Wednesday. Come on in. Come on in. Yikes. Ooh, my hand. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly. Hey, beautiful. Rise and shine. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Today we're talking about how you don't lack discipline, you're addicted to emergency. And we're going to get really good into it today. So I'm really, really excited. So make sure you share this with an amazing woman leader, okay? Share this with an amazing woman leader in your life, because this is going to be a good conversation, especially because a lot of women are in the phase of, oh, you know, I'm in my winter arc, I'm going into the great lock-in, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So this is really going to support you on today. So come on in, come on in. Y'all, my hands are so dry, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm going to have to put y'all on pause and go give me some for my hands. And I'm so for real, but it's close to me though. So I'm going to grab that. But come on in, come on in. And put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly. Okay. I'm so excited about today's topic because, like I said, it's called, or it's titled, You Don't Lack Discipline. You actually are just addicted to emergency. And so we're going to talk about this today. But 2 seconds, because I need to put some oil on my hands. I do not like dry hands. One thing about me, honey. I don't know why people don't lotion their hands. It's crazy to me. Hold on, y'all. And just like that, I'm back with my stuff to put on my hands. Baby, I despise dry hands. I just washed my hands and did a little cooking. And now my hands being there dry. Hi. Come on in, come on in, come on in. I'm super excited about today's topic, because a lot of you think that you lack discipline. See how old? Now I'm going to put it on here. A lot of you think that you lack discipline, when in reality is, it's not that you lack discipline, it's more so that you are just addicted to emergency. And we tend to do that. We tend to do that a lot as women, okay? So we're going to have a conversation about it today. All right. For those who do not know who I am, my name is L. Antoinette. I am an energetics and identity mentor. And what I do specifically is I support my amazing clients who are visionary women. Okay. I support these amazing women by mentoring them to make sure that they dissolve these invisible ceilings, right? Invisible ceilings are blocks, or what people like to call blocks, but blocks aren't real. That's what I've helped women basically realize. These blocks aren't real. You don't have money blocks. You don't have love blocks. You don't have blocks in regard to getting healthy. You don't have these things. You only have the things that are in the forefront of your mind. And so if we don't reprogram our minds, if we don't rewire our nervous systems, our life does not change. And that is science. That's not only science, but it's scripture. Everything that I teach is rooted in scripture, backed up by science. So you will hear me refer to things in biology. You will hear me speak a whole lot about physics, which is, we're going to talk about it today. It is not scientifically possible for a lot of women to be doing the things that they're doing, which is why the body is breaking down. Okay. I was having a conversation with someone really close to me today about just understanding, and I think my next masterclass, which is going to be, I only do masterclasses quarterly, but the one after this masterclass, I'm really going to hone in and dive in on your sun and your moon clock, because y'all really need to understand what's happening about why y'all keep going to the bathroom between 1 and 3 a.m. That's not a good thing. What I will tell you is this: if you consistently get up between 1 and 3 a.m. and you are going to the bathroom, that is the time when your liver is charging. Okay, so every couple of hours, we have a circadian rhythm clock. Every couple of hours, an organ is charging. Between 1 and 3 a.m., the liver is charging. So if you are getting up and you're consistently going to the bathroom during that time, the liver is having to work extra hard. That's not a good thing. So what you also need to understand as a woman is that if that's happening to you, you have to pay attention to the pattern between that and your menstrual cycle. Because guess what? Your circadian rhythm clock is your sun clock, and your menstrual cycle clock is your moon clock. So just imagine what happens if the sun doesn't show up on time. It does what? It throws the moon off from showing up on time. Same thing. But like I said, probably in my next masterclass, I'm really going to dive into that because I don't think a lot of women really understand what that is. And before going into 2026, you need to be really clear on how your body operates. So very important things. But like I said, I support my amazing clients. I mentor visionary women. And when I say visionary women, these are women who understand that they have a vision for their lives. These are not women who are submitting to what other people tell them that they should be doing. These are not women who are focused on what other people are saying, is not focused on external validation. These women are very, very clear that they have something that they're here to do that's bigger than themselves and is probably going to outlive them. And those women tend to come see me. We dissolve these invisible ceilings that block them from getting to where they're supposed to be. And we do that so that they can embody energetic and emotional authority so that their relationships, their leadership, and their wealth reflects their design. The reason why a lot of women are miserable, and this is science as well, is because you are trying to carry weight that's too heavy for you to carry. You're trying to do things that are not in alignment with you. And when you are misaligned for a long period of time, the body begins to break down and you get sick. This is why you see people in relationships with people that are extremely unhealthy get sick. This is why you see work dynamics where people are at certain companies and corporations, and after a while, because of all the stress, they begin to get sick. When you are in misaligned energy in space too long, it throws you out of balance and it causes dis-ease. Dis-ease, which is a lack of harmony, which is nothing but what a disease is. It's a lack of harmony within your body. Okay? So when I say I support my amazing clients in being able to do the work that they need to do, we get rid of these things. So what are the 3 results mainly that my clients end up getting when they work with me? They either get one of these results, they may get 2, or they may get 3. But at minimum, they get 1 if they're doing the work. Okay? This is true. This is what my mom was doing for her health when she stopped. Yeah. My health got better too when I stopped. It's very important for women to really understand and be in tune with themselves, because if you're not, you can cause yourself a lot of harm. Okay? So women that come to work with me, they make more money. They get healthier. I used to be 100 pounds heavier. I built a multi-6-figure business from the ground up without hustling, basically by being my 100% self, using the gifts that the Creator gave me. And so I've supported my clients in being able to utilize their gifts and make more money. I've been able to support my clients in getting healthier. I used to be 100 pounds heavier. My highest client's weight to date is about 80-something pounds. I have some as low as 20 to 30. Women also come to work with me. They end up attracting better community. Women who tend to do their work and start to get on the journey of, leveling up or healing and all those things, you realize that you lose people in that experience. You lose some of your day ones. You lose people that you thought were going to be there for the long haul. But that's because when you are leaving a new level, some people are not going to come with you. Some people are ready. Some people don't want to come. And there are a multitude of reasons of why people may not necessarily come, but you have to make a decision to end up rising up. When you rise up, the main reason why women fear rising up, right? Thank you so much for these likes. Women fear rising up because they fear they're going to be alone. I've had women say, right, that they are not going to make more money, or they don't want to make more money or do X, Y, Z because they feel like they're going to be alone. They're not going to be with anyone. But the reality is this, and I always explain this to women. If you can sit on the frequency of fear for a long period of time with your anxious attachment style, with your avoidance, and with all the other things that you are dealing with that are rooted in fear, including your lack, if you can sit there for 15 years strong and continuously meet people that you don't like, imagine what you could do if you rose above that vibrational state into a new one in the type of people that you would meet in that experience. Imagine if you were to meet people who understood what love actually was and what it looked like for you. Imagine if you actually, met people who understood enlightenment the way that you do. So when women come to work with me, the third result that they get is that they begin to attract better communities because they become masters of their emotional state. The worst thing that you can do as a woman is not be a master of your emotional state. It's like the absolute worst thing you can do, because that means you have consistent issues. If you can't manage If you can't master your emotional state or master your emotional energy, you will always be a victim to meals, food, because you can't control your impulsivity when it comes to food. You will always be a victim when it comes down to money, because you will never seem to be able to keep it. And you will always seem to be a victim of men. See, there's a connection between meals, money, and men. And the connection is your emotional state. But if you don't know how to regulate that, if you don't know what that looks like, if you don't understand that, then you will constantly find yourself being the victim of things that you are consistently choosing for yourself based on the patterns in your subconscious mind. So women that come to work with me are ready to do the real work to unravel those things, because you really don't have the blocks that you think that you have. It's just that your perception is a little dark. And the perception is dark because you feel like you have a ceiling over you. So of course it looks dark. That's where I come in, to remind you exactly of who you are. Women that come to work with me are not women who need to be more feminine, right? Because when you come to work with me, you realize that you are feminine by design. And I help you understand that by understanding the rhythms of your body, including the phases of your menstrual cycle. You understand your sun clock and your moon clock. You understand that you don't, women like us, feminine women who are in alignment, we don't burn the candle at both ends. We understand the power of the gifts that are within us, according to Proverbs 8 and 12. We understand that true mastery begins by being rooted spiritually, being grounded mentally, being strategic emotionally, okay? And being very selective physically. That is what makes you a mystery. That is what gives you the black cat energy that you guys crave so much and that you look for, you get all the tips for. That is how you prioritize yourself. That is how you focus on what is important to you. And most importantly, that is how you achieve the results that you desire for your life. But a lot of women are not really prepared to do that because they have to make hard decisions. And women don't like to make decisions. A lot of women do not like to make decisions. Okay? So we're going to get into it today, though, because I want you to be real clear. It's not that y'all lack discipline. I know that's what a lot of people have been saying. Well, welcome, I love you. It's not that you lack discipline. You're addicted to emergency. And you're addicted to emergency because your nervous system has been trained that way. The programming of your childhood has been like that. And like I've been stating on the last couple of lives, when you look at your parents, and I don't even care if one of your parents is absent. Hear what I'm telling you, because it's on the money, all right? If you don't shift or change your vibrational state or make some serious decisions, you are bound to become one of your parents. And I know some people are like, how can I become someone that I don't know? Trust me, it's in your DNA, sweetheart. You would be very shocked and surprised about who you turn into when you don't do the work that you need to do. So be very easy on judging your parents. Be very easy on judging the people who have reared you. Be very easy on that when you are not making real decisions to position yourself to be better. Not better than them, but better than the experiences, because you don't have to participate in experiences once you know about them. This is why I always say all the time that you should study your generational history, especially of the women that came before you. Because you'll find that you have a whole lot more in common with them than you think. So you really have to save your judgments. You can't operate in full feminine power and you lack forgiveness. You can't operate in full feminine power and feel like you judging the women that came before you. You came from that same lemon tree. So you are a lemon. Maybe you just haven't been squeezed yet. But lemon juice is coming out. Pressure builds character, and pressure also reveals character. And understand this, the society that we live in, we are living in a pressure cooker. And the pressure is about to turn up in 2026, whether a lot of you realize it or not. So you have to make a decision on how you're going to respond. Either you're going to be a master of your emotions, or you're going to allow your emotions to master you, which is going to keep you in a state of slavery. Okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. If you're really in a space where you're wanting to break this addiction to emergency or allowing other people to make their urgencies your emergency, then we're going to go ahead and get into it directly, okay? So first and foremost, we have to stop lying. We have to stop lying. There's power of life and death in the tongue. And we as women tell little lies. Sometimes we don't even realize that we lie, but you attract liars when you lie to yourself, because a liar feels comfortable at your table. And I'm going to give you a perfect example of that. The reason why you can deal with this man who consistently lies to you is because you lie to yourself. Didn't you say you was going to start going to the gym? Didn't you say you was doing a great lock-in? What is it, September 10th? We 9 days in, you ain't even started? See, people are watching you whether they comment on your behavior or not. And men are really good at that. Men will watch you do things that they know that they don't like, and they may not necessarily say anything to you about it, but they definitely have noted it. Not everyone is going to be real with you and tell you that they see you being a liar to yourself. So you like liars. If they're a liar, they're just going to sit in the space with you, because lying is the frequency. Lying is the energy in this experience. So you have to be very, very careful about the lies that you tell yourself. So first and foremost, you don't lack drive. You don't lack drive. You lack regulation. You lack regulation. Hey, lovey, you don't lack drive. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. And the reason why I'm telling y'all lying when y'all say, oh, I don't like drive, or I don't like things to be better. I have not met one woman who is sitting in the space and sitting in the same space and not evolving, that is comfortable, that feels safe, or that feels secure. We as women are going to continue to age. Evolving is a decision. It is a choice. Okay? So let's stop with the lies. You don't lack drive. You always want better. That's really your truth. You want the best for yourself. You just lack the ability to regulate yourself so that you can receive what is actually the best for you. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. You also are not undisciplined. Stop saying that. Stop. There's power of life and death in the tongue. Everything I teach is rooted in scripture and backed up by science. Let me put you on game. And I'm also a nerd, so I like to study science and stuff. So let me put you on game on how powerful and how weighty your words are. Let's just use science. As I'm speaking these words to you, right, it's a vibration. It's coming up all the way into my throat, vibrating out to my voice to where you hear now, right? That's science. When I speak this out loud, the air particles vibrate. We don't have the eye to see them, but the air particles vibrate based on what I'm saying, right? So that, and they're sending it to you, you're hearing it in your ears, and your eardrum is beating, and it's sending your brain, the left side of your brain, a message saying, hey, we have an incoming message coming in. We have an incoming message coming in, okay? So your voice carries so much weight that it travels into the body of another without them even being, and it could be in a space without them even being fully conscious of it. And this is why music is a medium, because music has a way of being able to enter you, right? Because the music itself enhances the right side of your brain, which is the creativity aspect of your brain. When you are listening to the music, the lyrics, however, are going to the left side of your brain, okay? I'm sorry, the left side of your brain. So when the left side of your brain is processing the message, do you know what the left side of your brain is for? One aspect of it, critical thinking. So the music that you're listening to impacts your critical thinking. It also is the area, hi Lovey, that processes linguistics, your language, the things that you speak. So music is a medium that enters into your body, and if you are not conscious, it will program the left side of your brain, which will impact your speech, and your speech carries weight. This is what the scripture was trying to tell you when it says there's power of life and death in the tongue. You really can speak your reality. A lot of you do speak your reality, hi Lovey, and a lot of you curse yourself, which is why you live or feel as if you're living in a cursed reality, because you don't understand the weight of your words. These are the things that you really have to pay attention to. A lot of people have a very twisted or uncomfortable relationship with scripture because of the way that it may have been presented to you. But what you have to understand about scripture is nothing but a book of codes. And when you understand and sit with it long enough, it begins to reveal itself to you. Those codes begin to activate things within you, which is why it says for you to they should be tattooed on your heart, right? Because your heart posture has to be right to receive. It's not, the scripture is written in a multitude of ways. But when you don't sit with it, you don't gain understanding. You understand? And so you will have this twisted view of it. You will have this very confused view of it because people will take it and twist it into whatever they want it to be, which is why it tells you to seek for yourself, to lean not to your own understanding, especially not to lean to the understanding of someone else. That is something you have to sit with, which is why patience is the fruit of the spirit. Hello, it takes patience for you to be able to sit and to allow yourself to even receive. So these are the things that you have to really think about, things that we are taking for granted. So be very, very careful. Okay? Be very, very careful with the things that you say. You are not undisciplined. You do not lack drive. Now you do lack regulation. That's factual. You are addicted to adrenaline. That's factual. You are addicted to the urgency. That's factual. Okay? You are addicted to performance-based worth. That's factual. You've been trained to do that since you were children in school. If you didn't perform well, what? You didn't get good grades. If you don't perform well at work, what? You get a pip. Hi, Lovey. Right? You've been trained to be a performer all your life, honestly, all of our lives, to distract you from becoming who you are supposed to be. Because if you actually stepped into who you're supposed to be, you would realize that a lot of the things that you think that you need, the things that you think that you want, aren't the things that you want, and you really start getting the desires of your heart because you come into real understanding of what that is. A lot of the things that we think that we want are things that have been told to us. And because we lack the understanding of these things and we enter into these things ignorantly, we feel crushed. We feel sad. We feel like we made mistakes. This happens to a lot of women who get married and don't understand what marriage really is. This happens a lot to a lot of women who become mothers and don't understand what motherhood really is. See, this is why it's very important to have those transparent conversations. This is why it says the truth will set you free. Tell the truth about motherhood. Tell the truth about marriage. Tell the truth about the sacrifices. Not only the intentionality of having kids, but the responsibility and the accountability that comes with them, even if they don't turn out the way you feel like you raised them. See, nobody wants to tell the truth. And so people enter into things lightly. You should not enter into those experiences lightly. When you are marrying somebody, you understand that you are coming under a bloodline, mixing one, joining one. Do you understand? Do you understand that you are picking up the curses and the blessings of that bloodline? Have you even investigated to see what that's about? No? But he fine though. Oh, okay, let me get back to what I'm saying. So until you admit all of the things that I'm talking about here, you lack regulation, you're addicted to adrenaline, to urgency, to performance-based worth, okay? Until you admit all of these things, you'll keep needing chaos just to get anything done. There are some people, the people who say, and I used to be one of these people, so it's no judgment, but I'm just telling you because I see you, because I've been there. So when I was in undergrad and I was in grad school, I am the type of person, baby, if my paper due at 11:59, you better know I started on that paper at 10:30. You better know, and this is before chat and all that, but you better know I started that paper at 10 p.m., maybe 9:45, maybe 10:30, depending on the length of it. Because I always prided myself on being amazing in the pressure cooker. You understand? I always prided myself in being like, yeah, I may wait till the last minute, but I'm going to get it done. I'm going to knock it out. It's going to be right. It's going to be correct. It's going to be this. It's going to be that, right? So I would do this consistently, and I did this in my life. I did this with, projects. Because how you do one thing is how you do all things now. See, it's the trick. How you do one thing is how you do all things. So I took that mindset into work. I took that mindset into relationships. I took that mindset into everything. When I'm in a pressure cooker, let me do this. Oh my gosh, we're not in a good space. Okay, let me do this. Very, very, very much so performance-based. Very much so a fire has to be lit under me for me to move. Very much so giving, I only clean up when company coming. But when I'm sitting at home, I ain't doing that. See, these are the things that we really have to pay attention to themselves. We have to pay attention when it comes down to ourselves. Why do you need chaos in order to get things done? That's dangerous. And it's not sustainable. Because what I wasn't realizing is that I was breaking my body down over time by doing that continuously. I was breaking my body down. I'm just thinking I'm good at being in a pressure cooker. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, you being 20 years old and they saying, oh, you got polycystic ovarian syndrome. But nobody was talking about it in 2004. I'm 41 now and I don't have it. Don't. Thought they said it was for life. I was very stressed. I was very unhealthy. I was not very good to myself. See, a womb, your womb is a wealth creation station. Not just with you being able to bring life through that portal and that pathway, but also understanding, when you understand the phases of your cycle, there is a time frame or a specific phase where your hypothalamus, your pituitary gland, and your ovaries work together, and it sharpens your brain activity. And during that time frame, if you lean in properly and you are a creative, how much money you can make is ridiculous, the energy that you are in. And I'm telling you this because I've done it. I'm telling you this because I've taught it to my client who is basically almost at $1 million in her business. Like, I'm not telling you something I'm new to. I'm telling you something I'm true to. I'm telling you what the Most High designed. And I'm telling you what science backs up. You are a spirit being having a human experience. If you want to really thrive in your human experience, you're going to have to ground yourself spiritually in understanding of who you are and how you operate in your design. It's going against those things that throws you out of balance, that throws you out of order, that puts you in dis-ease. And these are the things that we have to pay attention to, okay? So let's go ahead and expose this addiction. We talked about how being addicted to the adrenaline, because the urgency, the performance-based worth is the exact same thing of, oh, I'm getting this paper, got to be due at 8:59. Cool, I'm working on it at 11. Same type of energy, okay? Here's the real reason why your to-do list only gets done when your back is against the wall. You're not going to like what I'm saying, but I'm going to tell you the truth. You've, with your life, from conception, childhood, teenage years, into young adulthood to where you are now, your nervous system has been wired, okay, to trust urgency and not clarity. I'm going to say this again. Your nervous system has been wired to trust urgency, not clarity. Why y'all rushing these men to marry y'all in 6 months when y'all understand that a lot of these men are not stable and out here unaliving folks like that and lost their mind? Why are y'all letting people get online and tell you that if this man ain't say he want to marry you in 6 months, and this man is still a stranger? Do you understand that people will be with people for a long time and still don't know who they're dealing with? What are you doing? See, when you're moving in discernment and you moving in alignment, you always moving in divine timing. So that could be a month for you. That also could be 2 years for you. But why are you allowing people to program your mind and to trick you into positioning yourself to get played? Because nobody can play you without your permission, participation, or the fact that you simply are not paying attention. And a lot of women aren't paying attention to what they give permission to. And then before they know it, they're trying to figure out how they will participate in an experience that almost took them out. Again, I say, your nervous system has been wired to trust urgency, not clarity. You ain't even getting clarity on this stranger. You ain't even ran the proper background checks, and you're talking to me about why he hasn't married you or said that he wants you in 6 months? We cannot be that desperate. We cannot be that desperate. The feminine is detached because the feminine knows that what is for her and what is in alignment for her, she's going to have. She's not running to the altar. She doesn't live in false timelines that society put out here. Oh, you better do this right now or your egg's going to be this and this and that. Let's talk about the state of why there are women who are getting healthier and different things in their 40s and their 50s and they dropping babies out because it's a health. My homegirl Sasha, who is a womb health practitioner specialist, will tell you there is your chronological age and there is your biological age. She has helped women in their 40s get pregnant. She's helped hundreds of women. So don't come telling me about all these things that you have to do of what society is telling you to do. What you have to do is follow the order. Your body is a temple. How well do you care for your temple? How well do you care for your internal universe? See, let's get into it. It's cute to put on cute clothes. How well do you care for your internal universe? Do you understand that your being is a place of worship? And then y'all got the nerve to be like, I want a man who obsessed with me. You don't even worship. Girl, moving right along, your nervous system has been wired to trust urgency over clarity. And that's the number one issue right there. You don't finish things unless there is a fire. You don't show up unless someone is there watching. Okay? You don't rest until your body shuts down. I guess God want me to sit down. You ain't been feeling that way. You finally get sick and got to lay down. I guess God wanted me. You didn't hear the mother warnings, folks. You didn't hear? You didn't feel? See, one of the things that women notice when they come to work with me in the beginning, there's a deeper awareness that happens when you come to work with me because of the things that I activate within you, right? So there's a deeper awareness of self to the point to where immediately when something is off in the body, you can feel exactly where it is. And I'm telling you the absolute truth. You don't even need, clients that come to work with me don't even need alarm clocks because the body, they are so in tune with self that the body is now on its own alarm clock and it wakes up during its specific time. See, these are the things that your body can do. See, you tricked your body into thinking you need an alarm clock. You tricked your body into thinking you need coffee. You tricked your body into thinking you need things that you do not need. All because of the urgency and not clarity. This is how people can come in your face and sell you things that are crap because they put in your face, if you don't buy it now, it's going to be gone. And you buy into the urgency instead of getting clarity. And that's how you got scammed. See, that's how y'all begin scammed by the scam artists. That's how you begin scammed by the scam artists. You're not checking for clarity. You're following the urgency. I got to hurry up and get on this. I got to hurry up and do this. I wake up at 7 a.m. daily without an alarm clock. I love you. I love you. Because the reality, you have your own, you are a walking alarm clock. What do you mean? We got a sun clock and a moon clock. See, but when you off balance, the clock don't work right. And that's just the reality. If the sun clock is off, the circadian rhythm clock is off. If the lunar cycle, the menstrual cycle clock is off, then we have a problem. If the menstrual cycle clock is off, the circadian rhythm clock is off. That's what if you got an issue with, and this is what I'm trying to tell y'all, if you having cycle issues, you are having organ issues, baby. Understand that. If you are having cycle issues, you are having organ issues. This is coming from someone who they said I would have polycystic ovarian for the rest of my life. I would have to be on birth control to have a cycle. My cycle was never going to be regular. My cycle came at 11 and it was irregular from 11 years old all the way until I was 33 and a half. At 33 and a half, I went through my spiritual awakening when my best friend died. I immersed myself in the Most High, in Scripture, in understanding myself because I felt so lost and just confused. And so when that happened, I trusted the Most High and was obedient and did things that I was told to do specifically. And within 6 months, my cycle started coming back consistently. And it's been coming consistently. I'm 41. No perimenopause, sweetie. None of that. None of that. So the thing is you really have to get in tune and understanding yourself because it's really serious business. Okay? So again, like I was saying, along the lines, your nervous system, has been trained to trust urgency over clarity. You don't finish things unless there's a fire. You don't show up unless somebody's watching. You don't rest unless your body completely shuts down. This is not a motivation problem. Y'all stop looking for motivation. Motivation is going, if you focus on motivation, you only gonna move based on your mood. And you can't afford in 2025 to move based on your mood. Really, you never could. Because even when everybody was all in the 9-to-5 phase, them people don't care nothing about your mood. You coming to work, huh? Don't nobody care. These kids knew. Parents be having their kids stay at home because they just don't want to go to school. It's a new day. It's a new time. That's why I ain't got no children because I'm not playing that. You're going to school. But it was back in the day you didn't have a choice. You was going to school. So nobody cares about you being motivated to do something. That's not the way this works. I never had a bedtime growing cycle. Came at 10. It was always 7 days, 26 years. Oh, wow. Mine didn't come. And it was crazy, dramatic. And then, but mine comes, if I'm on track and what I'm supposed to do, mine is no more than 4 days. If I go into 5, I know something is off. And I can always pay attention to that. But anywho, what I'm saying is it's not motivation that's not your issue, okay? The reality of the situation is it's a trauma-adapted discipline style where panic becomes your productivity cue. I'm going to say that one more time. If you only can move when a fire is lit under you or when you have a deadline and you do things at the very last minute, I'm telling you what that is so you are very clear. It is a trauma-adapted discipline style where panic becomes your productivity cue. And you cannot live like that. You cannot thrive like that. You cannot thrive like that. I'm going to say that again. If you only move when the fire is lit under you, that is a trauma-adapted discipline style where panic becomes your productivity cue. Okay? I need you to understand that and hear what I'm saying. So I just exposed to you what the real addiction is, what the issue is. That's your root issue. I gave you a gift. You're welcome. But understand this next part, okay? I'm going to talk about the physics of energy addiction. Because I'm a nerd, so I like to talk about stuff like that. I like to understand how we operate spiritually, scientifically, psychologically, and that's how my business is based. And that's why my clients get the results in a life change is because they get rooted spiritually, they understand the science of themselves, and they stop working against it. They start working with it. They face the psychology of their generational lineage so that they can close those time loops so they don't repeat the patterns of the people that came before them. Because I know y'all think y'all going to therapy is going to help you not repeat the patterns. But if you really ain't doing no real work, you just sitting up in therapy talking about them and judging them. And you wasting your time. Because you're bound to repeat them if you don't shift. And that's science, according to the law of inertia, which is one of Newton's law of motions. Told y'all I'm a nerd. One of Newton's, the first law of motion that Newton has is the law of inertia. The law of inertia states that a thing, a person, a situation is going to stay exactly the same unless there is force or influence that is different that's going to impact it and change it. That's science. So if you sit in the same spot, nothing is ever changes. And guess what? You are not bigger than spiritual law and you are not bigger than the science of yourself. So you're going to fall in that category, sweetie. And for the people who not believers, I'm a believer. But hey, you do what you want, right? For the people who not believers, you can't deny the science. And you can go look these things up for yourself. You ain't got to believe me. You don't got to believe me. You can go look it up for your whole self. But let's get into the physics of energy addiction. I like talking about this stuff. So let's talk about physics for a second. Your energy obeys force. Okay? This is what is going on with you. Because I said, if you are a person who you only do things or fire is only lit under you, when it's lit under you is when you move. Again, remember, this is a trauma-adapted discipline style where panic becomes your productivity cue. So because we're talking about from that state, let's talk about the physics behind that. So your energy obeys force instead of influence. Okay? Most women use survival force, panic, deadlines, fear of shame to push through. I'm going to say that again. Your energy, if you are operating like this, your energy obeys force, which means you are the same person that it's hard to have a soft conversation with you because you don't really listen to influence. You only know force. And that's very telling about your childhood. That's very telling about your experiences in this life. See, men lie, women lie, numbers can be crunched, data can be skewed, but your energetics is always going to tell the truth. And it's always going to tell the truth on you. You think you can hide behind your words. You cannot. You can't hide from people like me. I'm a seer. And there are a multitude of seers who have the gift of seeing. We may not all speak on it, but we see you. You are very much so exposed. So you may as well just be 100% yourself. That's why I always tell people when they come to me, just be you. I'm a honor, I'm a love, I'm a respect, and I'm a walk in love when I'm dealing with you. But I can only do that when you're being you. And if you don't want to be you, I would dismiss you from my life, because I have standards. I have a standard. My first standard to even get access to me is you have to be accountable, because everybody makes mistakes and I want to see how you handle things. You have to be aware, okay? I need you to know how you impact everything and everyone around you, and I need you to be authentic. If you can't be them three, you will never be close to me. Hang it up. But see, that's how it should be for you. You when you understand the fullness of your power, you should be strict. And this is why when people say, oh, men really like strict women. Yeah, because they do. They do. Okay? Discipline style. So let's get back into it. Your energy obeys force if you only move based on a fire being lit. Most women use survival force, panic, deadlines, fear of shame to push through. But the reality is real power is not reactive. And see, a lot of women are reactive. The second law of motion, the law of force and acceleration, by Newton says that the more force, the faster the move. But also, okay, the greater the crash if not sustained. I'm going to say that again. Most women use survival force, like panic, deadlines, fear of shame, to push through. But real power isn't reactive. It's actually regulated. The law of force and acceleration by Newton, okay, which is the second law of motion, one of the second laws of motion. It says the more force, okay, the faster the move. So yeah, the more you may force somebody, and I'll use this example. It's not probably the best example, but I'm just going to use one that's quick and visual. If someone has a gun to their head, that's force. Which is why when they charge you with something, they say aggravated, because there was a weapon involved, right? So if there's a gun to someone's head, that's force. It may make the person give them or do whatever they need to do really, really fast, right? So it may make them give up whatever they got. But at the same time, it's also saying greater the crash if you can't sustain that. If that person finds out that you weak or you shaking with their gun, they're going to attack you because you're not going to be able to sustain your stance. Okay? So you have to understand that what we're talking about is science. This is exactly why you burn out after burst of clarity. This is why you may crush a launch and then disappear if you're in business. This is why you may attract love but then sabotage the connection, because the more the force, the faster the move, the more enchanting and all, yes, I love you, whatever. Now they want to be with you. But the reality is them doing all that stuff to get you and force you to be with them. When they stop doing it, guess what happens? They can't sustain you. I was having a conversation with a gentleman the other day, and we were talking about men leading with their wallets, right? Which, that's too much game. I was going to give y'all way too much. Hold tight. There's nothing wrong with leading with your wallet, right? But it's about the way you position it. So that should be third in position, right? Because if you lead with your wallet in first position or first priority, what's going to end up happening is, if that's all you lead with and that's all you force with, and all I'm doing is buying you stuff and giving you this and doing this and doing this and doing that. Let's just say, and most men are like this, most men don't have a lot of the money that a lot of women think they have. So when they're doing these things, if he's an irresponsible man, he's not taking care of things in order to impress you. So when it gets revealed that he doesn't have these things after he's gotten you, guess what happened? The relationship can't sustain, because he came in too fast with all of that stuff, and it really wasn't even like that. It wasn't really like that. So guess what? Now he feeling played when you don't want to be with him no more. When in reality is, he shouldn't have led so forcefully with his wallet, when the reality was he could not sustain that. Yeah, he could get you, but he couldn't keep you. But the goal was just to get you anyway. See, Keeping you just came to be a part of, okay. But the goal was to get you anyways, which is why you have to understand science when it comes down to dating too, because these laws work here. This is one of the laws of motion, the law of force and acceleration. Too much force, yeah, you'll get the move and the impact and the thing that you want, but you won't be able to keep it if you can't keep that up. So these are the things that you have to pay attention to because they're very, very important, okay? So again, let's go ahead and get into the next piece of this, which is going to be discipline is what I like to call a nervous system pattern. So discipline isn't willpower, okay? It's rhythm. This is something I had to learn the hard way because I'm telling you, I used to be, I don't have discipline, I don't have this, I don't have that. Child, I done built a multi-six-figure business from the ground up without hustling, and I done lost up 100 pounds. Man, I had to learn that discipline is rhythm. It's not willpower. Willpower is a whole nother aspect of self. I'm not even going to get into that. If you were raised in emotional chaos, if you were raised in inconsistency, and if you were raised in conditional love, your nervous system is trained to ignore peace, which is why you ignore the man that likes you in order to chase the one that doesn't like you. Because, yes, he's great, he does everything right, there's nothing wrong, and da-da-da-da, but he's too peaceful. He's too peaceful for your nervous system that is trained to be chaotic. He's too peaceful. So there is no soft place to land when your nervous system is chaos. And these are the things that we have to pay attention to, because when your nervous system is trained to ignore peace, you don't recognize calm as safe. You self-sabotage when things get really, really good. You procrastinate just so you can feel the pressure, which is going to give you that cue to knock something down. You attract partners who require you to overfunction just to be chosen. You are not lazy. You are leaking energy through unhealed emotional defaults that you have in your subconscious mind. We revert. Let me tell you something. If I was to say right now, if somebody hits you, growing up, if you were taught this, finish the sentence and put it in the comments for me. If someone hits you, fill in the blank. Put it in the comments for me. If someone hits you, what? What is the training? What is the training? Thank you. Hit them back. Hit them back. Hit them back. Hit them back. Why is that? Because we've been programmed to hit back. We've been programmed to be vengeful. We've been programmed to do that, right? So that's what I'm saying. That's an example of a default. Hey, lovey. That's like a factory reset. If you go back to factory reset, that's a default right there. When somebody hits you automatically, your thing is to hit them back. Thank you, Tamika. Reactive. And what did I say about reactive earlier? Let's go back. Thanks, girl. Let's go back. Most women use survival force, panic, deadline, fear of shame to push through. But real power isn't reactive. It is regulated. The law of force and acceleration says the more force, the faster the move, but also the greater crash if not sustained. You hit them back and you can't fight. They hit you and you hit them back and you don't know how to get them up. You don't know how to move. You're not going to sustain in that fight. You're not going to sustain in that fight. See, and I was a person who fought. Right? And I loved when a person would get emotional because I knew you was going to lose the fight. Because you so caught up in your emotion that you missing the strategy. And before you even think twice, I'm going to hit you in your job. See, it doesn't pay to be reactive. It pays to be strategic. Okay? So that's the thing. What if you were, I'm assuming that means taught not to react. There definitely should be a response. There definitely should. I don't think that there should be a reaction. I think there should be a response. And the responses are strategic. Responses are very strategic. So you need to be clear. Because even if someone catches you off guard and they hit you and you don't have the skill set to be able to get them up, you're not going to sustain. But there definitely needs to be a response. And sometimes responses, I'm not saying that responses aren't physical either, because some responses are physical, but they need to be strategic. This is why if you're talking to someone and someone is getting irate with you and they're coming like they want to fight and they just doing a whole lot of talking, you don't do a lot of talking. In your mind, you need to be strategizing. You need to be assessing your opponent, because if they're coming to you aggressively, you should expect the unexpected. So what is your next move? Panic can't be it. Again, let's go back to it. And this is dangerous for women. See, this is why right now in the society that we live in, you really need gun training and you need tactical training. Because again, let's go back. Women use survival force. Panic. You don't need to be panicking in the moment. You need to be aware in the moment. You need to be clear in the moment about what your next move is. This is why it's very important for you to be aware. This is why I require awareness to be around me. Because if you are not aware of self, you are not aware of the danger you put self in, and you are not aware of the danger that you put others in. And see, right now is not the time for that. It's not the time for that. Okay? So again, let's go ahead and get back into how discipline is a nervous system power. Okay? Again, you are not lazy. You're just leaking energy through unhealed emotional defaults. Okay? Let's talk about how this pattern shows up in business, relationships, and in family. Okay? Number one, the top 3 business patterns of how this impacts you if you are in business. Number 1, you don't show up unless your audience is watching. Y'all will get on TikTok and ain't nobody on the TikTok, and y'all are 1 or 2, 3 people on the TikTok, and then you want to get in your feelings because nobody's showing up. So now you don't want to show up no more and go live and work on TikTok. You cannot self-source visibility. You show up whether it's 2 people, whether it's 20 people, because you trust and you're rooted in the understanding in that whoever it resonates with, even if it's only 2 people on it and it's 1 person that resonates with, though, that's the one that's invested. That's the one you need to pay attention to. Y'all be too caught up in it. Stop getting caught up in a bunch of followers. And I'm telling you, it's somebody who has a bunch of followers too and who didn't have it. So let's go ahead and get into this and do these numbers real quick. Total maybe online, I may have maybe close to 70,000 followers if I'm including this and including some other elements and things that I have, right? Somewhere around there. Somewhere 60, 70. Y'all, this little one here is driving me nuts. 60 or 70, right? About 5% of my audience buys. So if 10% of 70,000 is 7,000, and half of that, okay, we're doing half of that, that's 3,500. So it's made by 3,500. Some of y'all got 3,500 followers. Let's just say if I had 35, when I had 5,000 followers on Instagram alone, I made my first, I think like 40 something thousand with just them 5,000 followers. And I had a total of what, like 5 or 6 clients that end up paying me that. So you can do the math on how much each one of those contracts was. So the thing is, stop getting caught up in, oh, if this person shows up, you show up. Let me tell you what alignment looks like. Let me tell you what truly getting an alignment looks like. It looks like the catcher on the baseball field. The catcher on the baseball field is not waiting to see if the batter is going to come up and hit the ball. The catcher on a baseball field is prepared to be in position to catch the ball, which will require the catcher on the baseball field to be in alignment with what the catcher is doing, what the material the catcher has, being at the right spot at the right time. You missing it. And you worrying about showing up? That's what you're talking about? Like, come on now. Be for real. I ain't go because ain't nobody going to be there. You there. You there. Don't you know that you are the magic? Don't you know that you have creative and witty inventions in your very being, according to Proverbs 8 and 12? Don't you know that you're beautifully, uniquely, and wonderfully made? Don't you know you are the secret sauce? What are we talking about? You weren't about. Please, like, what are we doing right now? The second business pattern is that you build offers in chaos. Never with calm strategy or clear timelines. Ooh, let me hurry up and do this because the money finna run out. Let me hurry up and do. That's why y'all don't be getting no money. That's why money's not attractive to you. You abandon structure because discipline feels like control and not devotion. You abandon structure because discipline feels like control, not devotion. I was having a conversation with a young lady, and she was talking about her business, and she was saying that the products and the services she has is like she sells vintage clothing pieces and different things, right? And so we're having like a little business chat or whatever, coffee chat, and she was saying, but at one point she started getting all these modern pieces. You know, people were buying from her, but then she started getting these other pieces because she was thinking about money and stuff like that. And I said, why did you flip the structure? Why did you change the program? I was just trying to find something for everybody, but you're not for everybody though. Pay attention. You're not for everybody though. So why are you trying to serve everybody when you're not for everybody? You don't abandon the structure. You don't abandon what you've built because the people who ain't even your ideal clients ain't buying. That's not what you do. You position yourself to speak to those who are buying because people are out here investing high level when it comes down to vintage pieces. So why would you lower yourself and flip the program? Be devoted to the program. Be devoted to the rhythm. Be devoted to the process. That is what it means to be disciplined. See, it's not that you lack discipline, baby. You lack devotion. And you wonder why they don't want to be devoted to you. You're not devoted to yourself, sweet love. Thank you, my love, for these gifts, these likes, and these comments. You're not devoted to yourself. Let's talk about the 3 relationship and family patterns and how this impacts that as well. You'll start emotionally intimate conversations, then avoid follow through. You parent, you partner, or you lead with guilt-fueled overgiving, then resent the imbalance. I'm gonna say that one more time. Hear what I'm saying? You parent, you partner, you lead with guilt-fueled overgiving. Then you resent the imbalance. Let me show you how y'all do this. You meet somebody, man or woman, child. Well, I say man or woman. You meet somebody, and they just start telling you their problems. They just start telling you all the things that happened to them in their childhood and their life and how nobody ever stayed and everybody left them and all these different things. And guess what starts to happen as a woman that should not happen? You start feeling sorry for the man. First mistake. You start feeling sorry for his scenario, in his situation, and what has happened for him. And guess what happens? You go on this thing on your end where you're not going to be like them. You're not going to be like those people who treated him like that. You're not going to do these things, baby. That's 101 reverse psychology. Coming from the psychology major. That's 101 reverse psychology, sweetheart. You need to be paying attention. What do you mean? Instead of you feeling guilty so much to where you start, pouring into and fixing all of his problems, how about you assess the fact that he seems to have a problematic history? We don't want to assess the problematic history that he's participated in, because if we're still talking about what's happening in that space and we're in our 40s and then we're in our late 30s, how much work has been done? How much more is he participating in his own problematic issues? Instead of you being caught up in that, no, you feel bad for him. You feel guilty. So you want to help. You want to do this. You want to do that. And then when you get none of that in return, you want to be resentful for the imbalance. You want to say he used you. No. Nobody can play without your permission, participation, or the fact that you simply were not paying attention, sweetheart. That is how you got played. Because you went into this scenario parenting, partnering, or leading with guilt-fueled overgiving, and then you end up resenting the imbalance that you created. Hello. And women can say what they want to say about this aspect. This is why I tell women I don't believe in shooting your shot at men, because you, when you shoot your shot as a man, you shoot your shot as a woman to a man, you start the imbalance. You start the imbalance because you show up in the leader position, and then you want to get on the phone with your therapist and other people and say he won't even plan us a trip. He didn't plan to come talk to you. Hey, I'm just saying, hey, Joseph. You can't create an imbalance and then turn around and resent it, because the truth of the matter is you're not upset with him. You resent yourself. You resent yourself for not being able to manage yourself properly enough to assess. Okay? Let's get into it. Number 3. You collapse in silence or busyness when you don't feel needed because your need is triggered for movement. This is why you will sit around and be with a man and say, why won't you talk to me? Like, why don't you talk to me? You don't talk to me. You don't do anything. You make me feel like I'm not useful and da-da-da-da. See, that's a wound. That's a wound. Need is your trigger for movement. This is why as soon as somebody expresses a problem to you, you immediately got a stranger living in your house, and then you want to turn around and talk about something. They so ungrateful. I let them come up in. Why did you let this fool move in your house? Like, let's get into that. No, you got to be needed, though. You got to be needed. This shows up everywhere, the things that I'm telling you. This is not about productivity. It's about power. It's about power. Let's get into the cost of this emergency-based execution that you keep participating in. Number 1, the cost of needing pressure to perform high. Thank you, my love. You build businesses that you can't maintain. You'll chase intimacy that you can't hold. You'll make money, but then you'll sabotage the money. Because if the only way, thank you, my love, for these gifts, if the only way you know how to do things or know how to get results is through distress, then peace will always feel like failure. And you know what's the damaging thing about that? Peace is a fruit of the spirit. You need it. You need it to thrive here. You can't thrive without it. And a lot of you are choosing to get results through distress. And you don't have to do that. All you have to do is understand the science of yourself and the physics of follow-through. Okay? This is what I fix. This very problem right here. Your trauma. Let's get back into it. Because if you only can get something done, if a fire is lit under you, that is a trauma-adapted discipline style where panic becomes your productivity cue. I just gave you a gift with that. I'm telling you what the root issue is. Now I'm offering you a solution if you want to fix it. If you don't, keep it. If you don't, keep it. Okay? So here's the solution. I'm going to help you fix this problem in my masterclass. It's happening on 9/18. It's $127. You can get it with Klarna, Affirming Afterpay. It is called Finish What You Start, the Physics of Follow-Through. When you come into this class, you will never need an emergency again to execute. I can tell you that. I can also tell you this is not a mindset training, so don't think, oh, it's just mindset. No. It's bigger than that. Because mindset training ain't helping y'all. Real talk. It's not. This is an energy system recalibration that we have. And this is what you're going to walk away with. Straight up. You're going to walk away, number 1, with a repeatable system for sustainable execution, meaning that you can continue to execute beyond the class. Years later, what I am giving you is a skill that you need to refine because you used to know how to execute real strong. You used to know how to execute real strong, but you lost it. But I'm going to help you get it back. So the first thing you're going to get is a repeatable system for sustainable execution. The second thing that you're going to get is the neuroscience of how to rewire chaos-based action. okay? If you are used to focusing in chaos, I'm going to help you reverse that so you can operate from calm and clarity, because that is where the cash flow is. That is where the results are, because they don't come from chaos and confusion, because the Most High is not a God of confusion. So if you confuse and some chaos, I'm telling you, nothing that you want is there, because you're sitting in a gray spot. And remember, in a gray spot, you can't really see, because you can't determine how much black or how much white is in there to make it gray. You just see gray. The third thing that you're going to get when you leave this class is a disciplined identity that doesn't require panic to perform, okay? You're also going to get the exact way, keyword exact way, to lead in peace without losing momentum. So if you're done performing, burning out, and disappearing by the class, you can get a recliner firm and afterpay. Y'all know I stopped doing master classes. I'm only doing master classes quarterly now. So this master class is the class I'm doing for this quarter. The next master class that I'm going to do is going to be centered around the sun and moon clocks and supporting women and getting those in tune, okay? But be very clear. Your next breakthrough doesn't need chaos. It really needs correction. So click the link in the bio to get access to it. You do not have a discipline problem, like I said. You don't have that at all. You are simply addicted to emergency, and you are addicted to emergency because your nervous system is trained to operate from that space. And if you want to change that, you can get the class, finish what you start, the physics of follow through. I am teaching you the science of follow through. There are elements in it. Of course, everything I teach is rooted in scripture, backed up by science. So the thing that you have to understand is that even if you're not a believer, the science is there. If you want to be, I'm a believer. And I see the connection, and I've been able to make a lot of the connection between spirituality, science, and the psyche of the mind, because there's a very core connection. This is why I tell women all the time, if you want to thrive in this society, you need to understand spiritual law, because that's how you're going to create your reality. You need to understand the science of yourself. That's going to help you not fight against yourself and get the desires that you want, because you have the understanding. And then also studying this generational psychology of your lineage, specifically the women. Because if you don't pay attention, you will repeat those same patterns. And when you look at famous women in society now, I just want you to look at it. I'm one of the type of people, you ain't got to believe me, just look at it. I want you to think about women who have crashed out in society, right? Or who can't seem to keep themselves grounded. I guarantee you, even men celebrities, one of those things is off. One of those things is off. Either the lack of understanding of spiritual law or flat-foot disobedience of spiritual law. The lack of understanding of the science of self or the flat-foot disregard for the science of self. Or the ignorance of the psychology and of the generation. Or then, the purpose. The willful ignorance. It could be either or. But when you are off in those areas, it's a struggle for you to thrive. And you find yourself consistently in survival mode. Okay? What questions do you guys have for me? Click the link in the bio to get access to the class. You are going to get an email. The first email that's coming is going to welcome you to the class. And then you're going to get another email, which is going to include your pre-work, okay, before you come into class. It's going to be a surprise that I have for those who are in the class. I put it out there for 15 tickets. I want to say I only have 5 tickets left because y'all was snatching it over over this past weekend and the last couple of days. So yeah, what questions do you guys have for me? Drop those questions in the comment section so I can answer. I think about how beautiful Billie Holiday and Dorothy. Yes, yeah. It's so many things, and I think as women we have to really pay attention to. Most importantly, we really have to pay attention to ourselves. Nobody's going to care for you the way you're going to care for yourself. That's why I always say self-care is the key fundamental of every single relationship, because you set the tone of how people treat you by the way you treat yourself, and you should treat yourself exceptionally well because you deserve that, right? But if you don't believe you deserve that, you won't activate that for yourself. And so you'll continue to find yourself repeating patterns, repeating time loops. You're not here to repeat time loops. In your one life, you're not here to repeat time loops, okay? It's intelligent for you to expose those time loops and close those loops so you can actually start creating the life you want. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. So It's really important that women truly, truly grasp that understanding. But if you want to have understanding of the science of yourself, because you don't understand the science of yourself, maybe you don't understand feminine science. Every woman should understand feminine science. That's why I teach it so heavy. Nobody teaches feminine science. A lot of people teach about feminine energy. Energy is science. And when women come, I want to learn how to be more in my feminine energy. Learn your science. If you learn your science, you know what to do. If you understand the science of yourself, you know what to do. If you understand the laws of motion, you'll know how to move. Understanding the law of motion will prevent you from being in a situationship. I swear to you, every single time. Like, understanding the laws of motion will put you in position to be engaged faster than you not understanding the laws of motion. Like, understanding the science of yourself is so important. Understanding the 4 phases of your cycle is so important. Understanding that you are a cyclical being, not linear like the masculine, is so important. But if you don't understand the science of the feminine, you're going to struggle in relationship with the masculine, because you're going to expect the masculine to behave like the feminine, because you don't know what the feminine should be acting like. Y'all be over here asking men, begging them to tell y'all their feelings. That's not what the masculine does. Men naturally compartmentalize. This is why they're able to be fathers without fatherhood doing them. Meanwhile, on the other end, most women are consumed by motherhood. So you really have to understand the science of yourself. I'm trying to tell you something. So if you struggle to finish what you start, and you want to understand the physics behind it, so the physics behind follow through, so you can follow through on everything you want to follow through in your life, then this class is going to be the class to support you and help you. I noticed after I started going through time loops in 5th grade that no one helped me finish the loop. The feminine women in my family moved far away, and now yeah. I was in I've had to close out a lot of time loops. My dad passing away actually closed another time loop out for me too. So it definitely makes a huge difference. Yep, it's called Finish What You Start, the Physics of Follow Through. Okay? All right, I don't see any questions, but click the link in the bio to get your ticket. Once that link doesn't work anymore, that means I don't have any more tickets. If I'm not mistaken, I think we've sold 10 so far. And I was only opening it for 15. If those go really fast, I may open up for 5 more. Who knows? But that's the class. The class is Finish What You Start, the Physics of Follow Through. Y'all, this is not the time for you to wait or waste time. This is the time for you to finish, to follow through, to execute, because things are being executed on you. Every day you're seeing something being signed in. Oh, executive order this. How about you make some executive decisions for yourself? How about you make the executive decision that you are going to follow through on the things that you desire for your life and for yourself? Stop starting the business and stopping the business. This is not the time for that crowd. Get the business rolling. Do the things that you need to do now. The great lock-in is literally your last opportunity to get things straight before you start really seeing some stuff in 2026. You're going to see more. I'm telling y'all. Come back and tell me when it start going out. You're going to see more crowd control. You're going to see heavy surveillance picking up and them watching. You're going to see all of these things. But just hold tight. So you might want to get your ducks in order. The great lock-in is the great lock-in for a reason. So if you really want to lock in and you really want to follow through, then make sure that you understand the physics of how that works. Click the link in the bio to get your ticket. Click the link in the bio to get access to any of the other products and services I have. I am on Substack. If you want to know more about sacred currencies and the feminine, sign up. I'm about to drop a fire money series on, I didn't even think I was going to give you that, but I am. I'm about to drop a fire money series on Substack. And I'm trying to decide if I want to drop that starting today or if I want to wait. But let me just tell you, because I wrote it down, I was writing to myself. And I was like, I've been working on new red letter series that's not just about money. It's about rebuilding the frequency you hold it with. It's called the money frequency codes for spiritually intelligent women who are done undercharging, overproving, or apologizing for their desires. This one is for those who want to be funded by their frequency. So this ain't for everybody. Number one, the first letter is money was never the root, power was. The second letter, the first three letters are free. The last three letters are paid. The paid letters are where people get specific strategy on how to implement these things. You will not get access to them unless you are a paid member. You can be a paid member in most of the ways, for the year, for the month, whatever. The first letter is money was never the root, power was. The second letter is sacred, doesn't mean broke, because a lot of sacred women in the holistic field who are working, y'all out here working for pennies, and it's really pissing me off because y'all changing lives, and working for pennies is crazy. Sacred is not broke. If you are given the assignment to help women heal in certain areas, stop charging $9.99 or not broke. If you are given the assignment to help women heal in certain areas, stop charging $9.99 or 20. Come see me because you need to get that right, okay? Sacred does not mean broke. The third letter is this. She doesn't need a budget. She needs permission. Get into it. Letter number 4, that's paid. The spirit of starvation. I'm going to tell you how you entered into agreement with lack and how to break the spell. That's the paid letter, the first paid letter. The second paid letter is your bank account is an altar. So you learn what that actually looks like. And the third letter that's paid is her presence pays her. So I'm going to give you the game if we talking money and we talking about it from currency and we're talking about it for real. And this is coming from someone who built a multi-six-figure business from the ground up, okay, without hustling. I don't work a whole lot. I don't do all these things. I have my systems and my structure set up. I don't abandon. I have on the lip bar on the outer. You can click the link in the bio to actually, you can click my TikTok shop to get it. I have the lip bar as the outer. This one is Hot Mama, and it's in my TikTok shop. This one, I used to work at MAC. So I used to work at MAC some years ago in my makeup artist days. I've lived a multitude of lives. This one is old. It's called Personal Statement. I don't think they have it anymore. But because I'm an artist, I know how to make things stretch and things, right? So it's just like a pink that's like this. So if you can find a pink that's in this hue, then you should be able to pull off the same type of look. And I'm pretty sure probably the lip bar has something in that color as well. So you can click the link in the bio to get access to the red if you need. So yeah. All right, loves, I don't see any questions or anything. So click the link in the bio to get access. Let me know if there are any questions or any products or services. You could DM me. Don't DM me your problems because I ain't going to do them, okay? If you got something where I can really support you, don't do that, though. I won't do trauma bonding with me. That's not how that works. Women come to undo traumatic situations so that they can rise up. Your therapists come see me, your doctors come to see me, your nurse practitioners come to see me, your VPs of companies come to see me, your coaches, your business owners, your therapists, social workers, all of that. They come to see me. So, yeah. How do I get over the fear of being seen on social media? One, you have to address the real fear. My lives, they just kind of are different. It's just whatever I'm feeling. I'm one of them types that I'm obedient. I used to be like real strict with my schedule, but I'm obedient. How do I get over my fear of being seen on social media? I'm a new realtor and I know real estate is well. I need to market myself more. You have several options. So one, you're going to have to get over your fear of being seen. That's first and foremost, which means that you need to, number one, see yourself. And when you see yourself, that means you see yourself in the fullness of yourself and you accept the fullness of yourself. You accept your light and you accept your dark. When you accept your light and you accept your dark, you don't care who accepts you because you see yourself in the fullness of yourself and you accept the fullness of yourself. You accept your light and you accept your dark. When you accept your light and you accept your dark, you don't care who accepts you because you own as a real thing. By owning your light and your dark, you don't mind being seen in the light or in the dark. Understand? So with you understanding that and being very clear on that while you're working on that, because that takes time to build up, and you probably should come see me because I can support you with that, or you probably should grab the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint because that'll really help you get clear on that. But in the meantime, while you're working on that, maybe using the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint to build you up, what you can be doing is investing. I have a specific contact that was a former client of mine that's also my homegirl, and she's really good at AI. So during that time frame, you can actually be investing in AI photos and different things like that, because that is a specialty that she has. And she works specifically with real estate agents and things like that. But understand that AI can only sustain you for so long. You are going to need presence, and people are going to want to feel you. So while you are utilizing AI to be able to attract people to you behind the scenes, you could be doing the work to build yourself up so that you are prepared to be seen, because you need to be paid for your presence. I hope that made sense. Let me know if you have any questions. Does that make sense? Good deal. Good deal. So if you want access to my homegirl, shoot me a DM. But even if you don't get anything or decide not to buy or purchase anything from me, you don't have to. But you're going to have to do that work behind the scenes, because my homegirl can only do so much. If that confidence ain't right, if you ain't built it up and really done your work to understand yourself, and confidence comes from belief, it's basically belief in self, and you believe in yourself by meeting the goals and the things that you have for yourself, because those things slowly increase your confidence as you're stepping into the fullness of self. So if you need support in that, the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint will support you in building that up, because it helps you tear everything down and rebuild it the way that you authentically operate. And with that, like I said, you can DM me about my homegirl and I'll send you her information. Okay? All right. And I think the Magnetic Wealth Blueprint is $333. You can get it with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. Very powerful. It's going to help you remove all your attachments from money, attachments spiritually, attachments relationally. It's going to help you in all aspects. You'll be able to detach from the process. And one key thing to getting your desires is the ability to know how to be detached, which is why it tells you in Romans 12:2 to not be conformed of this world, but be transformed by the daily renewing of your mind, which means you have to consistently remind yourself of who you are daily in this experience. Okay, so you can click the link in the bio to get access to that, and DM me and I'll pass that information along. Thank y'all so much for your time. I'm about to get ready to go because I got some stuff to take care of, so I hope y'all have a great day. Peace, y'all.